Welcome everyone. Great song by the Stones, Say to Me off the Bridges of Babylon album. This song is standard tuned, but there's a capo on the first fret. You know, teaching a Stones song can be kind of like swimming upstream because you've got two guitars weaving, sometimes a third with Jagger playing rhythm, in this case, I believe. But, you know, once you get the gist of it and work through it, it's really a fun song to do. And some nice licks in there, nice little melodic solo by Ronnie. Fret. Now, as we go along, I will speak to that as an open string, E string, okay? So we'll pretend we're in the key of E. So this starts out with a nice little intro lick by Keith. The keyboards will come in after he starts the song. So I notice he's just finger picking this intro. I tend to hybrid pick it, so I'm using my pick and my middle finger for the other parts. But what we're going to do is on the first fret, hammer into the second fret, and then pull back off to the first fret on the third string, and then quickly snap with your finger the first string open. And then you'll hear him hit the open sixth string. So then the keyboards come in and you'll just hear him hit the third string again, hammering into this from the first to the second fret. And then he's going to do another hammer into 2 and then pull off to 1. So then what we do on the third string, hit the second fret, slide up to 4 and pinch the third fret of the second string while that fourth fret of the third is ringing. Then we're going to hit them both together and slide back to 2. And you kind of want to pull off that second. Because really, you're going to an A, but he just slides it back and kind of lifts that finger so it isn't ringing anymore. Alright, then he comes back to this second string at third fret and fourth fret of the third string, and he'll pluck those 3 times. Then he comes back to both strings at the second fret, and then he'll hit the first, second, and third string with the third string at the first fret, referencing an E. And then we're going to finish off similar to how we began, but the only difference will be when we snap that open E, we're going to also pluck the second fret of the fourth string, another E note. So a lot of notes there. I forgot to mention, but I tabbed this out so you can follow along with my tab. I have both what I'm teaching, mainly the bonus aries live, but I'm also going over what they do in the normal recorded version. Alright, so this is the bonus aries live intro, and we'll go through it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, meanwhile, the keyboards and Ronnie's coming in with an E, and then an E sus4. Alright, you can play an E sus4 by bringing your pinky down on an E string, bringing your pinky down to the A note on the fourth string at the second fret, I'm sorry. But I find it easier. You can also do this, and I see Jagger do it. He moves from an E. He just takes these 2 fingers, because we have an A here now with this E, making it a sus4. Okay, same chord. But that's what I see Jagger doing live. So, and it sounds true to form because we got the keyboards filling in the rest and the bass and so forth. So we're going E sus4, kind of the intro chords, and then when he starts singing, we're going to go E sus4 to back to an E, and then we're going to put our pinky down on the second string at the 3rd fret for an E7. That leads us into a chord change to A. And then we're going to take this A, and this is a bit different chord. I've written these chords out also at the end of my tab. But what we are is on the 4th string at the 2nd fret, the 2nd string 3rd fret, and the 3rd string at the 4th fret. And we like that 1st fret and 1st string and 5th string ring. That's an A7 sus4. And then we move back to one more E and then E sus4. Verse 2 comes in. All right, we do the exact same sequence. E sus4, E, E7, A7 sus4, E, and E sus4. All right, then we are into chorus. So I also want to mention before we get into the chorus, I'm going over the live version, but at the end of this lesson, we'll go over the studio version because there's an actual extra interlude. The intro's got a couple things a little different, so we'll speak to that at that point. All right, chorus. A couple guitar parts to it, all right? E to D to A. E to D half measure, A full measure. Then it's E to G to D. The G sounds a little bit better if you cover the 1st and 2nd. So it's more of a... Something I noticed, not a big deal, it's still a G chord. Anyhow, that is chorus 1. So the first chorus has a little tagline that they don't do all the time, but it's a nice little lick. It's going to sound like this. So basically we're hitting the open 6th string to the 3rd fret with a slight bend and then ending up back on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. So from E to G with a slight pull back to an E. And then this. So that's the first half lick of the chorus. All right, so basically, you never make a saying of me. He answers with. So we're sliding in 2nd string, 3rd fret, 4th fret of the 3rd string. Then we come back and we'll hit, that's from the 1st and 2nd fret of those strings. And then we're going to pull off from 2 on the 3rd and 2nd string to open. And then to the 4th string pulled off to open from the 2nd fret. Again. Then what he does is he grabs this 2nd fret with his 1st finger, and then we're going to lay down kind of like that 7th, A7 sus4, but we're not worrying about the 1st string, so it doesn't matter. You can just bar there. But we're hitting the 4th string, and then we're going to hit the 3rd and 4th fret of the 2nd and 3rd string. And then we'll hit it again and pull off to the 2nd fret. And then the 6th string open. All right, so we have this. And then I do it again. All right, so let's go through that, because that's the opening first measure of the solo, and that will repeat. Now, like I said, this little tag doesn't always, it only comes in the first chorus. And then we start in. is the chorus. We are into verse, what we call 3 and 4, just like we've learned. Then we got chorus 2. And like I said, chorus 2 is twice as long. So we're just doing our E, D, A, and then E, G, D twice. After chorus 2 is an interlude. And in the live version, this is where Ronnie's solo comes in. So I'm going to go over the interlude rhythm. We'll go over Ronnie's solo last before we get into the studio recording. Okay, interlude 1 in the live version. That's all they do is one interlude. Studio version, there's 2 interludes. I wrote that out because it is slightly different, interlude 2 in the studio. But like I said, interlude 1, same live and same studio. We have A, E, and then F sharp minor. And then he'll say, I thought I heard an angel cry. Then he goes to a D, then moves up to a C sharp minor, and then a B minor. And then we'll go those first 3 chords again, A to E to F sharp minor. And then he's going to do G for a measure to D. And then it's similar to coming into the verse. We're going E, E sus 4, E, E7, A7 sus 4, back to E, and E sus 4. Then we start singing and are into verse 5, which we know that, but there's no verse 6. Like the last verses, they go through 2 verses before the chorus. Verse 5 leads into chorus 3. So when we get to chorus 3, we've got the chords, and we also have the lead licks underneath it. What happens after that is, in the bonus Aries video, they just go a cappella and the song, okay? So that is, other than Ronnie's solo, the bonus Aries rhythm, all right? We'll go over Ronnie's solo, and then we'll go over the differences with the studio, from the intro to the interlude 2 and how they end it. I'm playing through my Fender Bassman. I'm just a little bit crunch on the clean channel, and they call it the bright channel. And for the solo, I am adding my Timbus overdrive set at like clown settings just to push the amp a little bit. So with that said, I'll go through the first measure of Ronnie's solo. Both are very similar, but like I said, it's very melodic, very well done. So first measure. So what he's doing there, it's mainly in this between the 11 and 10th position. You can do it all at 10, but I just find it easier to use my first finger, if you will, at 11. So we're going to start out 2nd string, 13 bent, and then 13 bend again with a release and pull off to 11, and then hit 13 again with a slight vibrato. Then he grabs the 1st string at 13, back to 13, and bends it with vibrato on the 2nd string. So we have this so far. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he does another 13 bend and release, but not a pull-off. It'll be a bend and release, and then hit 11 with some vibrato. And then you'll hear him, again, you got to change position because he's going to pull off on the 3rd string from 12 to 10 and same on the 4th string. And then he'll come back to 13 with a bend and release and pull off to 11 and then hit 13 again. And then ends this measure with another 13 pulled off to 11, landing on 12 on the third string with some vibrato. All right, so that second half, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're into measure 2. So measure 2 will sound like this. So after that, the band kicks in and they're going into more of the rhythm coming out of the interlude. All right. So it starts out the second measure of Ronnie's solo, very similar to what we've done. All right, another similar set. So it's a bend and release to 11. Then it changes. Now we go to that 10th position, but we're going to be on the first string and do a little arpeggio. We'll go 10, 11, 12 on the first, second, third string. And he lets each one ring. All right, it's not ringing together, but they ring individually. And then you'll hear them for 4 more times, pluck through them before it comes to the 10th on those strings, including the 4th. And then he's, basically hammering on from the second and second string at 11 and 4th string at 12. Okay, while the band is kicking in, and again, it's very loose, but that's Ronnie's solo, at least for the live version. The studio, I didn't get into the minutia of it because this gives you the tools to figure out if it's different. All right, so I'm going to help you with the studio version and the differences there. We'll go over the intro and interlude 2 next. So the notable parts in the studio version, the way Keith starts it is different. And the tab online, it's close. People just don't listen to what they're playing. I mean, if we just hit the 3rd string and the 4th string open and hammer into 2, it doesn't sound right. What he's doing, and even pull off to 1. Listen. So what he's doing is hitting the first fret of the 3rd string, 4th fret open, hammering into 2, but then he's pulling off just his ring finger, so we have 1, going back to 1 on the 1st string, but we got to keep that 2nd string ringing on the 4th string. All right, so we have this. And then we pluck the first 2 strings, the 1st and 2nd open. Now we're going to do another hammer on just like we did. And then you'll hear him hit an E, but only from the 5th string down to the 3rd. Another hammer on like we've done. And then only the 1st string. Then he might keep doing this lick, but it kind of goes to Ronnie doing this 10 hammered on to 10th fret, barring across from the 4th to the 1st string, hammering into the 2nd fret of, 2nd string, 11th fret, 4th string, 12. All right, so it's a quick strike, hammer in, and pull off. And then he's going to hit that 2nd string, hammered into 11, pulled back off to 10 individually, striking 10 on the 3rd string. And then 13 on the 1st. So we have this. All right, So that's the difference in the intro. If you listen to it, you can see where they're weaving in and out of this, at least focusing with the studio version of that. The chorus, really the only difference is they'll go through the lick like we've learned. All right, they'll do that twice. The third, and then two more of the pull-offs. But then what he does is another set of pull-offs from this 3 to 4. And then just plays that A7 sus4. Alright, so it's a bit different in the intro. Again, my notes will really help if you're playing with that for the chorus. That's the difference that they do. Rather than going through the first measure twice, the second measure's changed up a little bit and playing more of the A7 sus4. In chorus 3, or after chorus 3, in Bonus Aries Live, they go a cappella and out. In the studio version, they do another interlude. So this interlude, the chords are slightly different. We start out the same. So A, E, F sharp minor 7th, then D, F sharp minor to B minor. Alright, repeat the A, E, F sharp minor. Thought I heard a teardrop falling from her eye will be just like the ending. D, C sharp minor, B minor. Then we go back to our A, E, F sharp minor. 2 G's, 2 counts of D. And then they go into the outro, which is more of a pickup. And it's E in E sus4, back and forth. And it fades out. So I really hope this helps everybody. You know, with the Stones, don't worry about it being perfect. They don't play it perfect every time. They change it up, they make it interesting, and God bless them for it. So I hope you guys really enjoy.